Good evening and welcome to the Whaler Guys here at 2028 Sargent Street in Hartford. This is the bunker of Whaler hockey. So we are the Whaler Guys, you guys are the Brigade, and we're starting off tonight remembering a great coach by all accounts from what we've heard.
Yeah.
The passing of Bruce Marshall, who was a UConn hockey coach for it looks like 24 years.
Yeah.
He passed away at the age of 54 on the 16th a couple days ago. Sad news.
Yeah, it really was. Bruce Marshall, coach for the team for 24 years. This is the guy that got UConn ready for Hockey East. He was, incredible coach. Former Hartford Whaler Todd Krieger talks about Bruce Marshall all the time. If you ever see him on Facebook or you're friends with him on Facebook, he was a big fan of Bruce Marshall. Believed in everything he was doing. He was a good coach. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out. He went very young at the age of 54 years old. But he's always going to be remembered as this, important piece in UConn hockey history as the guy that got them ready to go take on the world, really, because they got into this Hockey East, and he was a big part of that. So we definitely want to make a note to that.
And we want to pass on our condolences to his four kids that he left when he passed away. Just looking at where UConn is today with the hockey team, with the energy in the Excel Center, it's something I'm sure Bruce Marshall, before he passed away, probably knew. This is the next stage of UConn hockey. This is a big deal now.
Yeah, it really is. And you look at like Mike Cavanaugh was an assistant in Boston for 18 years, and it was like stunning. I mean, so these guys really have longevity. I mean, they know the game backwards and forwards. Really important how UConn has gotten off to a great start this season. This is their third season in Hockey East, and every time we go, I think we admit that it's a great time at the Excel Center. That's for sure.
It is, and this Friday they're going to be playing
AIC
at a 7:05. So another opportunity to get out there and see UConn and the Ice Bus out there.
Yeah.
And now speaking about, we talked about last week how well UConn played against Alabama Huntsville. This past weekend, they played very well. 2 games, one at Colgate, one at RIT.
Yeah.
And, Colgate was the first night, ended up being a 4-4 tie in overtime in front of an amazing 1,391 people. Again, they kept out of the losing column, which is great. And, scoring 4 goals is a good deal.
Yeah, actually, that's something that they didn't do a lot, especially their first year at Hockey East. It was hard for them to get into the 3, 4, 5 goal range. We've seen that, and we've seen them also play in tight games as well. So having a little bit of an offensive punch is a great thing. They go on the road to Colgate and RIT. Now these aren't Hockey East teams, but they're still formidable opponents. I don't think that UConn, in their first 3 seasons, has started off undefeated after 4 games.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, and again, you look at the scoring for UConn. You had Pratt with a goal. Yeah. You had then you had Drake. Yeah. And then of course you have Brian Morgan and Tage Thompson.
Right.
That's those are names we're going to start hearing more and more about. This is going to be a unique club this year because I think. Unlike last year's club, you're going to have a lot more wealth out there and a lot more goal scorers because it seems like they're balanced across the 4 lines. And looking, we only saw the first game, and again, what we liked was what we said last week was the passing, knowing where that guy is going to be, knowing to get it there and control the enemy in their zone.
Right, and I mean, if you look at it now, so through 4 games, UConn has factored 15 goals in 4 games, and they've only allowed 5 goals in those 4 games. Now, they did shut out Alabama Huntsville twice, but you still have to do that. I mean, it's not like it was just a given.
And Rob Nichols in goal again. The Colgate game, faced 23. And ended up being 27 shots on goal and ending up with 23 saves. And that's back-to-back performances. So you got to give Rob Nichols some credit for having a good game. Again, now stretching out from Alabama Huntsville to Colgate, who's really more of a formidable opponent.
Yeah, they're all actually Colgate's in the same division or conference as Alabama Huntsville, so they're playing these. And the really interesting thing was. So here's the UConn in their 4th game, and Mike Cavanaugh makes a goalie change, just to give Nichols a break. And he's got 3 choices. He's got Thulin, he's got Creel, and he's got Huska, who's the new guy, freshman. And he gets to start against RIT in front of 10,500 people. I couldn't believe it when I heard that because, they had 1391 at Colgate. That's 3 times less than what the XL had against Alabama Huntsville. And then they go to this, RIT, and I've never, I would have never guessed 10,500. That's very impressive. That's up in Rochester, New York.
And that's right. And, like you said, Huska gets to start.
Yeah.
So he's throwing him in as the backup, and he faced 36, 1-1 tie going into a 10,500, like you said, and, 35 saves.
Right.
Great performance.
Yeah.
And he ended up being a #1 star of
in
the
his
game.
first game for UConn at this level. And if you're a Ranger fan, I'm sorry for you, but if you're a Ranger fan, you should come watch UConn and see this guy Huska because you know what, he could be the replacement.
He's property of the Rangers.
He could be the replacement someday for So you never know. He could be the goalie of the future for the Rangers. So come check him out now because he could be with the Wolfpack in a couple of years. There's all kinds of things, but that's an impressive first start. And they went with Kavanaugh went with him over the other 2 goalies who have a lot more experience.
Yep.
But Huska really proved himself there. A 1-1 tie is not an easy thing to do.
And in the game, Ojekidian, number 23, gets the goal.
Yeah.
And you had Pratt and Newpower on the assist.
Boy,
so again, we've obviously Pratt's the captain. We hear his name all the time.
Yeah.
But Newpower, he had a goal.
He is a Newpower.
He had a goal in the Alabama Huntsville
he did,
game, too.
and he gets involved. So he's a defenseman.
Yep.
So you're looking at a guy that's putting up little points on the board. So Wyatt Newpower is new guy, and it's Newpower for UConn.
Yep, and it's great. When looking at what's ahead of them, like we said, AIC is this actually tomorrow night, Wednesday night. They'll be at Quinnipiac.
Yeah, this will be the first test.
It's gonna be a real big test.
If they're gonna bomb one, it might be that. Quinnipiac is a tough game, and of course it's at Quinnipiac, and they're always sold out.
Yep.
That'd be a game we couldn't even get tickets to that game.
Yeah,
That's how bad that was.
It's one of those things where this is, like you said, this is going to be the test.
Yeah.
To see, okay,
where do they stack
Are
up?
they putting their finger in the dike?
Yeah,
or are they going to be,
I mean, do they get shelled 7-3, or do they, lose 4-3?
Right.
Yeah, and if they're competitive, that's great. But if they do get shellacked, then you're like, well, what's going on here? But be that as it may, that's where we are today. So their big test tomorrow night. They shouldn't have a problem with AIC on Friday, but you don't want to, be too confident.
Think ahead because they could have a really crappy game tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And get their doors blown in.
Yeah.
And then have to regroup for AIC.
Right.
And AIC could be coming in saying, hey, look, they just got shelled by Quinnipiac. Yeah. Maybe we got them back on their heels.
Yeah. And
hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah, you would think that Kavanaugh's going to go back to Nichols against Quinnipiac, and then maybe Friday he goes back to a different goalie, to give them get everyone a little experience.
They didn't even dress Thulin. He was not even dressed for.
Yeah, I think they can only dress 2.
He did not play right.
Sometimes they have 3, but in that case, I bet you it was just Huska and Nichols. So, but it would be interesting to see if it's great to have a fantastic goalie, but it's not bad having one on the backup.
What's impressive about the Colgate game was they outshot Colgate 45-27.
That was another point that it's a good point to bring up there because boy. There's nothing wrong with having a ton of shots.
No.
You keep the other guy.
The opportunity.
Yeah, 45 and they outshot Alabama Huntsville.
Yep.
So that is important because it also tells you. You're not making shots on net if you're in your own zone. So they're playing a lot of time and that was part of the problem with UConn over the last couple seasons was they spent too much time in their zone playing defense. They get tired out that way. Try and get the other team tired out. Put some pressure on them.
Exactly.
So,
RIT outshot UConn 37-22.
Yeah. See, it was a total reversal. Yeah.
But look what happened.
Yeah. Huska held the door.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where you have to have that goalie situation. That okay, you might not be out. We might not be out shooting them.
Yeah.
But I'm going to hold my own in here.
Yeah.
And that's where it gives your team a chance to stay in the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we saw that at Alabama Huntsville. They came in a couple times. Has a flurry of activity, but Nichols, he was no joking around.
Yeah, just turning it away. So, a great start to be 4 games in, undefeated. They're 2-0-2. An exciting game tomorrow night. I don't know if that's going to be somewhere televised on NESN or anything, but it'd be great to be able to see that.
That'd be great.
It would be
Might
good.
Be blacked out.
Yeah, it probably would be too.
But that's a great segue.
Yeah.
Because you said NESN.
Yes.
NESN is the Bruins, Red Sox, Celtics TV station.
Yeah.
So last week when I'm driving home, now you can try to control me because
I'm going to let it fly on this one.
All right, yeah.
Because
I'm driving home on 84. going into West Hartford, right where the Gold Rock is over on exit 44 Prospect Ave, and they have the digital billboard.
Oh, it was a digital.
And I look up there, and the Boston Bruins are advertising tickets.
Yeah.
BostonBruins.com.
In Hartford.
And again, I'm a Bruins fan until the Whalers come back because I'll never root for the New York teams, whoever they may be.
Right.
Every once in a while, Islanders are amusing to watch, but
but
never Rangers or Giants or Yankees, God forbid. But I look up, I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Really? This is why we have to get a hockey club back here, because they're coming into our area because they know there's NHL fans here.
Yeah.
I was bullshit.
Yeah.
I was so angry. You know what? It irritates me that they're advertising in our backyard.
Yeah.
So we're not supposed to talk about the investors, but they need to get their stuff together and get us a hockey club because they're taking all of our money.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Rangers are doing it too.
Yeah, and you know that if you want to take a silver lining of it all, it shows it like, you know, they're advertising here, so they must know that there's market here.
You think?
Yeah. But do I like to see it? Oh God, no. I mean, no.
This is ridiculous.
And it wouldn't be. I don't want to see any other NHL team marketing to Hartford because you know you want Hartford to be thinking about getting their own team. But at the same time, if you ask these teams to advertise in Connecticut and they went, "Are you kidding me?" Pfft.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
It was worth it to do it.
I mean, the cable companies are giving us NESN, MSG. SNNY. So, but still, when you see it up there, and it's not the Wolfpack, it's not UConn, it's the freaking Bruins. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, oh. And there they are. And you know what? That's even on the west side of the river. So they went
all the way across the river.
Yeah, it's almost like, you got invaded, but
this is ridiculous.
Black and yellow.
All right.
Yeah, black and yellow.
It's hot in here. I'm sweating. Yeah, I don't sweat.
Yeah.
All right.
But, maybe we'll see the Bruins. Maybe we'll go see a game up there later this year.
Maybe.
So.
And, we do have news about that, and we'll bring it up on another program.
Yeah.
But you have information about the XL Center. You heard some interesting stuff.
Yeah, just
about
checking out from the CRDA, a couple of things. One of the big things that had to be done, the things that they could do, because with the budget and all that, as you know, down the crapper. So there's only so many things they can do. And one of the things they had to do was that near the Church Street Garage, it's in the XL Center, but the Church Street Garage elevator that goes up to the walkway so you can get to the Church Street Garage needed to be completely repaired. It's been there forever. We joked about it. We thought there was a guy that used to pull, could get you to the top. I mean, it's just beat to crap. I mean, it's done. So the problem with it was it's like a $900,000 fix to get the shaft repaired, new elevator, all that stuff. So that's an expensive job. But that they have a design team and an construction team ready to go. They've talked to SCI, which is Stadium Consultants International, who did the massive renovation arena plan. They're coordinating to get their team ready to figure out how they're going to break out all this ice, the ice chillers and all the ice piping underneath the XL Center floor. So they're going to jackhammer that out. They approved the $4.75 million, which was bonded, which means they didn't have to vote on it through the state legislature. Don't tell too many of your friends about that. But anyway, that's how these things are going to get done, slowly, piece by piece. But again, it's all progress. The really just bad news was the joke of the Big 12. Had all this, hoopla, we're going to expand, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know if you saw this, but ESPN... And I don't want to say the other news network because I can't remember, but ESPN and somebody had petitioned to ESPN to please not expand the Big 12 because it was going to, for TV revenue, which is funny because this is the 30th largest media market in the country.
Without a
without a major league team. But so the Big 12, the Big 12 was like, it was like, one of those chances where, someone says, "Oh, hey, I'm open to dating," and then everybody goes to court the person and no, I'm not open to dating. Well, why even have the discussion? Because next time you talk about expanding, we're going to look at you like you're a frickin' joke.
Well, you're crying wolf, and it's like, what did they need someone to pay attention to them or something?
I don't know, but if they picked Houston over UConn, that's fine. I could live with that. Houston's
pick someone.
Yeah, pick someone. But don't be a wuss. I mean, come out and say all this expansion stuff. So, Jeff Jacobs had gone off on his rants about it.
Good for him.
Yeah. And it was like, all this big talk about expansion, and they don't. And that's why it just looks ridiculous. And you know what? I don't think it was imperative that UConn needed to get in the Big 12 for us to get the XL Center or get an NHL team. It would have been nice, but I don't think it was
this
necessary.
goes back to the whole thing, and I listened to WTIC 1080 and listened to Gresh and Jody Ambrosio, who do a great job on the radio. But there was a conversation one afternoon about making UConn and having people come out to the games and all that, and they were puffing them up so much, like they were a USC or a Michigan, and they're not. They are a school in Connecticut. They happen to be the biggest school, but they don't have a program that is that progressive yet. I'm not saying they're not going to be. I think they have great potential, but they're not in that area yet. For my feeling, and this is my feeling, my personal opinion only, they're not ready for another division yet. When they lose games that they should win, and it just blew me away that they were touting them as this bigger-than-life thing, that people should be selling out this for 40,000. We have the most fickle fans in the world, and if you're not a winning team, people are not going to see you. So don't sell it as a Michigan or Ohio State. It's not the same category yet. I'm not saying it won't be, because I think Bob Diaco's doing his best in his second year here, trying to get him to a level where the play is consistent. I watched the Florida game the other night, and they were close. They played a competitive game. Florida's a better team. I thought it should have been closer. I thought they missed some opportunities, but I think UConn's on the way to be a very good team. It's going to take some time.
Yeah, it is, and you really brought up a great point, because as far as we're concerned, it doesn't matter to us if UConn gets into the Big 12, because they're already in Hockey East for hockey. And Hockey East is like the SEC of college football. I mean, Hockey East is it. I mean, if you look at, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but if you look at the Wolfpack roster, you get guys from Vermont, guys from Maine, all these Hockey East teams, and that's the Premier League. That's where the NHLs are pulling all their draft picks from and whatnot. So UConn has already got into the best league for hockey. This is about their football and basketball.
And it is, don't get me wrong.
And that's a bigger draw.
And again, it goes back to TV revenue. How much would UConn be getting from that TV revenue? We don't know.
We don't know, no. But it's probably big bucks. But it is funny that after all that talk, I mean, don't even bring up expansion if you're not. The NHL kind of did that, and they took offers on expansion, and they're going to expand with Las Vegas. But if you remember, they talked about it for a couple of years. So it's kind of like, don't bring it up unless it's like a done deal.
I can tell you. I'm glad Noy's keeping an eye on Central. I was at that game Saturday.
Oh yeah.
They were up 21-10 at halftime. It was TV. I was like, who was watching this?
Really?
They were up 21-10 at halftime. Didn't score another point in the second half, and they lost 25-21.
They did lose 25-21? Wow.
I was off the hook.
Who did they play? New Britain High?
No, they were playing. They were playing Wagner. In conference game.
Yeah, there you go.
And they decided not to show up in the second half and let them score.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, it was horrible.
It is.
It was a beautiful day. Everyone's happy. Homecoming. Everyone left depressed. It's fabulous.
Wow. I went to Central, so there's not much I could say about Central. I mean, it's
well, they let you out.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did that either.
They even give you a degree.
Don't look it up. Yeah. I think I still have the slimmest margin of graduation. I mean, we're talking like pie. I mean, it was like broken out to the 7th place.
Oh, I thought you meant a small slice of pie.
No, well, yeah, it was.
Apple,
yeah, I got a small.
cherry.
Yeah, my knowledge was a small piece of pie. But so UConn not getting into that conference is not a deal breaker for the Excel Center. It's not a deal breaker for the. It would have been a nice piece for it.
It would.
But it's just not that.
But I don't think they're ready to progress as fast as everyone else believes they are.
Right.
So.
But anyway, in the Excel Center, they had. The Wolfpack played their home opener, right?
Yep.
So they played the St. John's Ice Caps, which are the Montreal Canadiens, which you love.
Freaking love them.
Yeah, and the Ice Caps have had two teams. They were Winnipeg and now they're the Canadiens, but they've had an incredible record against the Wolfpack. As a matter of fact, before opening night last Friday, the Ice Caps had only lost 2 games at the XL Center out of something like 12 games. So they played it was a very impressive game, and there was about 6,971 people there, which is very good.
That's
average
good.
opening. They're usually between 6,000 and 8,500 for an opener, so they're right in that wheelhouse. Talked to Adam Goldberg. He runs some of the ticketing and presentation stuff for the Wolfpack, and he was very excited. They did a great job with a Gordie Howe presentation to lead off the thing. And, they had the 9s on the ice. And they spotlighted those. And then they said, please pay attention to the Jumbotron. We're going to go through some Hartford hockey memories. They showed Gordie Howe talking. They showed this number being pulled up to the XL Center. They showed him talking about his kids, playing with his kids. A very short intro, but it was a very nice piece.
It was classy.
They lit the banner hanging in the XL Center.
His retired number?
His retired number. They lit it, and they said it will be illuminated for the entire season.
That's pretty
which
impressive.
is something, that UConn didn't do that. UConn should do that maybe. But, so you got the 9s on the ice. You got the Husky logo on the ice.
Yep.
You got the Wolfpack at center ice. So it's a nice, because we're showing a little bit with the ice. There's hockey history in the ice.
Sure.
And this is the last season on that ice sheet. They're going to tear it up. So.
Yep. And your blog is?
GreaterHartfordHockey.com.
Yep. And
look up Huskies, Wolves, and the Whale.
So it's all the hockey in Hartford,
right?
And the history and articles.
Yeah.
Very good, and not that I'm biased, but I have read his articles, and they're good.
Yeah, it was Greater Hartford Hockey or Worser Hartford Hockey. I went with Greater because I wanted to be positive.
That's right.
But,
but moving forward.
I don't claim to be a super journalist or anything, but I'm the only guy that's covering, all the 42 years. So, you get little stories about here and there. We had a great story about Howard Baldwin, how he ate the devil's lunch one time. But you know what? The Wolfpack, I wanted to mention this too, because if you're watching UConn like we have been, the Wolfpack have several players that played Hockey East games against UConn over the last couple of years. And now you're seeing them up in the Wolfpack ranks. And the Wolfpack got younger. And they got scrappier. It was a fun game to watch. They were all over the ice caps. They doubled it up 6-3. Occasionally they got close where it was like a 3-2 or a goal or two. But overall they really capped them off. And like you said with UConn, the same thing you said with UConn. The Wolfpack has some depth now. The first and second lines are really pretty good. So we'll have to see how that goes. And Michael Pagliota is a kid from Westport, Connecticut, who played for Providence in Hockey East, and now he's with the Wolfpack. He's a Ranger prospect. So you got a homegrown kid here playing for the Wolfpack. It's kind of interesting. And
that's great.
You got two great goaltenders for the Wolfpack. I don't want to say, I watched one game of the Wolfpack. They played a couple away games against Wilkes-Barre Scranton, and they play, I think, this Sunday against the Ice Caps again.
Yes, they come home.
Yeah, they come home. But after watching one game at home, I said, if they play like that, this team's going to make the playoffs.
And Ken Jernander was interviewed again on WTIC with Jody Ambrosio yesterday, and they were talking about, okay, you took the guys from the Wolfpack, you sent them down to Greenville, and you talk to them back and forth. And he says, in the beginning of the year, not so much, because they're trying to find their space, where they're going to be, how the chemistry is going to set up. But Coach Jernander said they do go back and forth. So if there is a call-up, a Rangers call up or they call someone up from Greenville, they remember, hey, this guy was this guy in training camp. So they try to keep tabs on, if the guy, like Coach Jernander said, so-and-so had a 6-point night. Oh, okay, is that normal for him? Or is this just a flash in the pan? So they do go back and forth and talk about, where the prospects are and how they're doing, and okay, who's going to be the hot number to call up if the Rangers are pulling from the Wolfpack. So I thought it was a very good interview. Of course, Coach Jernander does a great job when anyways, the guy's just a great guy.
Oh, yeah, I tell you, every time I go down there and interview him, there's a couple of reporters down there interviewing him. I mean, if he lost the game, watch what you say. I've seen him tear some reporters apart, deservedly so.
You're right.
But I always figure out I have to word my question carefully.
Sure.
And I don't mean like he's a mean, but I mean he's a no nonsense guy.
He's an
if he's
emotional
upset
guy.
about the team, they hear about it. And I've seen some of the players go, can you go get Jernander? And if they lost, he's like, someone else can get him. They don't want to ask him to come out. So, but I've been very impressed. He's done this now. This is his 20th season. He's either been captain or coach of the team. Won a Calder Cup. His number's up in the rafters. He's the only Wolfpack player that's ever been retired, had his number retired. 20 years in one city in the minor leagues is impressive.
It is, and like you said, he's a genuine guy. What you see is what you get.
Yeah, no nonsense. I mean, he tells you like he's not gonna,
But he's
jump
respectful.
around.
He's a polished coach. He knows what to say, what not to say. He's emotional, just like you would want a coach to be.
Right.
He really cares if they win or they lose. And I've been there with you when they had a rough night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You gotta stay on your P's and Q's. So
how was who was in goal? Magnus Hellberg was in goal.
Yeah. This is what's really interesting about the Wolfpack, because they had a season. Well, the two goalies are Magnus Hellberg and Mackenzie Skapski.
Yep.
Skapski a couple years ago, when Cedric Desjardins got injured, Skapski led the team the whole season. So as a rookie, I think he was a rookie that season, led the whole team of the Wolfpack, and he was very solid. He played very well. Actually, he's played a game for the Rangers. I believe he shut out Buffalo in one of his first games. So they have a good goalie there. And Magnus Hellberg last year was one of the better goalies for the Wolfpack. So they've got a 1-2 punch goalie system. They should have no problems with goaltending this year.
Well, what's interesting is the Rangers won last night. The Bruins won last night. The Rangers look as if they've gotten off to a good start as well.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, they're going to call up some of the Wolfpack players if there's injuries or whatever. But watching the Rangers play, I watched a little bit of it the other night, and they look like they have a good club, good chemistry.
Right.
The Bruins last night played Winnipeg. They ended up being winning 4-1.
Yep.
Rask was in goal, and what's his name? Sure, I forgot his name.
Yeah.
But he's got 4 goals in Pasternak. 4 goals in 3 games.
Yeah.
He's on fire.
Yeah.
He says after the goal, he says, I think I just blacked out. So it was funny to listen to.
Yeah.
And they were up against former Bruin Blake Wheeler, who's now the captain of Winnipeg.
Wow.
Just an amazing, big guy, tall.
Yeah.
And, it's funny, when I was watching the game, the one thing that really came to mind is, they're taking this protection of players to a limit where, and I'm not just saying this because I'm being biased of the Bruins, but Chara went to hit, I forgot the guy's name, for Winnipeg, into the boards. Now, he already committed to hit him into the boards, and the guy turned and came back around. So, of course, when he hit him, it was the whole boarding.
Yeah.
So, I think there has to be some discretion, and I'm not just saying it for the Bruins because I've seen it with other games too, that the refs have to have some sort of discretion to say, if he didn't cut back, and the defensive player is already, committed to checking him.
Yeah.
You got to give that not that the intent is to hurt the person.
Right.
But because he really didn't go hard at him, he pushed him, and it was boarding call.
And not every player has eyes around their head. Sometimes turn up ice or down ice, and another guy's coming up, and he doesn't know you're about to do that, and you don't know he's there.
Right.
And that's why I don't play anymore, because I'd be like a dinner plate dropped on concrete if I got hit like that. So that's just how I see it.
But it's fun. I am so happy that hockey season has started. Just sitting down and watching a hockey game was just like, you got your fix. It was great.
Yeah.
And again, they're on every Wednesday. Tomorrow night will be Wednesday Night Rivalry on
that's right.
NBC Sports Network.
Yeah.
And I think NBC Sports Network does a great job. They have Roenick, they have Jones, Keith Jones, Liam McHugh. I don't like him. He can, but they put together a nice pregame before the game comes on, and I really liked it. The other night, again, I have to get to Chicago Stadium or United Center to see a game.
Yeah.
It was the Blues against the Blackhawks, and then it was the rivalry from the conference finals.
Oh yeah.
And
that was a heck of a series.
The Blues lit them up.
Yeah.
They won
really?
5-2.
Well, the Blues are a dangerous team.
Yeah,
they were last year for sure.
Oh, they are. And it's great because I really respect Ken Hitchcock as a coach. I think he has something where you look at the guy and you're like, what's this guy got?
Yeah.
But he really puts a great product out on the ice.
Yeah.
And it showed the other night they beat him and beat him pretty well.
Wow.
They were faster, and to take the air out of opening night at anyone's arena is amazing. But in that arena of all is just amazing.
And good for St. Louis because this is a team that's always been struggling. They haven't been to the Stanley Cup Finals. The last time you saw them in the Stanley Cup Finals, Bobby Orr was a plane, and he was flying by the goal at low altitude, and that's 1972. So think about that. Poor St. Louis Blues. And the other thing I wanted to mention about St. Louis was they retired Mike Lee. Not retired, sorry. They inducted him into the St. Louis Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame. So Mike Lee got a nice accolade there from the St. Louis community, and heck, we've done it here in Hartford. He was here for the.
Who was also inducted
in St. Louis?
It was the Missouri.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You remember the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski?
No.
He was the closer for the Kansas City Royals for many years. He had a Fu Manchu mustache.
Yeah.
He'd get behind the mound and he'd go. boom, slap his glove together,
Yeah.
and then
And then that would
pitch.
be it.
Oh, he looked like an animal out there. It was great. But he was also inducted in the same ceremony with Mike Liut. So, you know,
cool.
our hats off to Mike Liut,
Yeah.
who's always a hero with Whaler fans, and
Yeah.
he brought us great memories. Now he's a lawyer with, he was with the National Hockey League Players Association. Now he's working in another venue.
Yeah.
We wish him the very best, and
Right.
and of course you always have a home here in Hartford.
Absolutely. I mean, it was as good as he was a goalie. He's even smarter than that. I mean, he's
Right.
just incredibly
And he
smart guy.
Didn't take too much off the
No,
dome
and he's
there,
crazy
yeah.
for being in there. Like you said, it's either guys coming out at 35 miles an hour or a piece of rubber's coming out at 90
right.
miles an hour. So.
Well, we're going to wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah.
Pete has kept me in check. I only swore once. I apologize for that, but I get a little passionate.
Yeah.
You guys have a great night. We're the Whaler guys. You guys are the Brigade, and we're one nation under green.